Hello my green fans and welcome back to the channel. In episode 12 we are still in a new Agram, and today I decided to build one of the neighborhoods that is mostly low residential buildings with small gardens mixed in with some bigger apartment buildings. So let's start, but before we fully dive into the topic of today's episode, let's give a warm welcome to all the new subscribers. We are very close to 450, which then means that until the end of the year, we need only 50 more to get to 500. And that makes me really happy. But also there was one more new thing, and that is that YouTube decided to open community tab to more people, and our channel got it recently. So you can expect me to post some work in progress screenshots and maybe even run some polls. And sometimes I might even post stuff from my real life I do when I'm not building Agram. A bit later you will see a short clip from Google Earth Studio of the neighborhood this is based on, and I can say that I think my interpretation of this area is maybe a bit too nice, but I just can't help myself but always try and make stuff I like a bit better. And the great thing is that the workshop has a lot of small and medium houses, and I really liked how these buildings Titan made looked here. They aren't perfect representation of what these sort of buildings look in Croatia, but they are very close. One thing I was trying to achieve is that relaxing feeling and the cozy vibe you get from these kind of neighborhoods. But the difference you will notice later is that I spread them a bit more and gave each house a bit more space for garden area. So today's episode is based on Kajzerica neighborhood, and now here you can see that first the area is actually very large and that is very densely packed with all sorts of small and large residential buildings. One thing that is hard to see from this up above is how close some are to the road, but I really didn't like that, so I kind of gave this place a bit of my own twist and made it more like the place I might want to live. This is a neighborhood located on the south side of Zagreb and a part of Novi Zagreb, and there are several important places here that for this episode I decided not to build, but to leave them as a standalone episode later on. And historically looking at this area, this is the south side of river Sava, and it used to be bordering area of Illyrian provinces in the Napoleon time. And the name Kajzerica actually comes from a French word for Kaiser, as this used to be an imperial army training ground. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a lot about the history of Kajzerica, but maybe a fun fact also that this name is shared with a small round bagel-like pastry that is maybe one of the most known pieces of bread in Croatia. Many have Kajzerica in their fond memories as something their parents used to make sandwiches with when as children they would go on school excursions around Zagreb area. Like how my husband's favorite sandwich is winter sausage and Kajzerica buns with mayonnaise and a slice of fresh paprika, and I must say it's a really great combination. But I think I should stop talking about food as I will make you and myself hungry. One of, let's say, easy parts of the building of this episode was that after I was done with building first two rows of houses and their gardens, the rest was more or less reusing what I had, as otherwise this would become boring and too repetitive very fast. But even though I did copy stuff, I also then switched out some plants or added some other props, and I think it looks different enough so it looks nice. And as I said earlier, this is a very mixed area, and every now and then I broke up small residential lots with several large multi-story apartment buildings with a bit more modern amenities like underground trash collection or more bike stands and nicely done flower beds. Like here, where I was thinking that I could use some pergolas and some glass props and make bicycle stand protected from the weather. Also, in making this area exactly as I wanted it to look, Bob was a very useful mod in removing unwanted props and trees from the houses I was using here. I'm not sure why I used to hate building playground areas, but lately I found that they add a bit more depth to the build, and in a way it would be a shame not to use these cool looking assets to make some. Now I do think these look really good and I like building them. Especially with these colorful circle pads that add so much fun into the area. Maybe because of how colorful these buildings are, I really had so much fun placing them here, and even though they're from France, I really like them. And because the assets themselves are well made, it is easy to edit one of them with PO to be shorter a bit. When Novi Zagreb was built in that time, it was very important that the neighborhoods also have amenities like schools and kindergartens, but I will talk a bit more about that in some other upcoming episodes. But I did add them here, and I was kind of lucky as I found some assets that looked close enough to real place. But the only problem here I had was a lack of space, so I had to leave out some sports areas, but I will add them later close by. And I think that is all for today. I really had so much fun building this area and it turned out very nice in the end. But before I let you watch cinematic part of this episode, I wanted to mention one more thing. As I was thinking that maybe some of you who watch my content really like it, maybe you would consider helping me out a bit in making my content better. And as I saw some other YouTubers like Sakura have this, I decided to open my own Ko-Fi account, where if you want you could buy me coffee, as I do need a lot of it when I'm making this episode. Of course, it is not mandatory, but only if you want and really like my content, and that might help me make even better stuff. You can find the link in the description of this episode. And today in cinematic part of the episode we have maybe one of my favorite Croatian female singers, Josipa Lisac. And even though the song I chose is not about Zagreb, I found it very nice. It is called Gdje Dunav ljubi nebo, in English Where Donau Kisses the Sky, and it is a soft ballad about one other Croatian river called Dunav, or in English Donau. Originally, the song was performed in Yugoslav selection of Eurovision Song Contest 1987, and although the song lost to Novi Fossili and song Ja sam za ples, it has become a huge hit. And of course, I appreciate all the comments and likes, so feel free to write something in the comment section down below, even a simple hello. And if you are new here and you like what you've seen today and you want to see more, also you can subscribe and ring a bell to get notified about my new content. It's free. Until the next video, stay safe and healthy.
Pričaj san pod jastucima, vino i dim u poljupcima i miris lješnjaka, nebo plave boje indiga i ti i ja. Čini mi se da sam sve to sanjala. Gdje Dunav ljubi nebo, o zašto smo sada toliko daleko, probudi me, ja mrzim ove noći, poželi me i sa anđelima dođi, pokaži mi gdje Dunav ljubi nebo, o zašto smo sada toliko daleko, probudi me, ja mrzim ove noći, poželi me i sa anđelima dođi, umotaj me i sakri me od svega, zadrži sjećanja, zaštiti me i opet nešto složi. Pokaži mi gdje Dunav ljubi nebo, o zašto smo sada toliko daleko. Priča i san pod jastucima, vino i dim u poljupcima i miris lješnjaka, nebo plave boje indiga. I ti i ja, čini mi se da sam sve to sanjala. Pokaži mi gdje Dunav ljubi nebo, o zašto smo sada toliko daleko. Probudi me, ja mrzim ove noći, poželi me i sa anđelima dođi. Pokaži mi gdje Dunav ljubi nebo, o zašto smo sada toliko daleko. Probudi me, ja mrzim ove noći, poželi me i sa anđelima dođi. Umotaj me i sakri me od svega, zadrži sjećanja, zaštiti